Good morning, everyone. I'm hoping that you can all hear me fine. We're just going to give a few seconds for everyone to start coming in. You guys are welcome to just react or just show me that you are hearing me, and yeah, everything is fine. Cool. Okay, so while everyone is still coming in, I'd just like to welcome you all to our webinar, The Art of Time Management. And this is all about gaining control over your schedule and boosting activity. Um, Feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list is quite a common struggle. And the good news is that there are practical steps that you can take to gain control and achieve much more in less time. Before we start, I'd just like to get through just some um, almost house rules. So the first one is to use the Q&A section and the reactions as I ask now. So if you have any questions during this presentation, you're welcome to just pop it into the Q&A chat, and then we'll designate it and get to it as soon as possible. If you guys are having any technical difficulties, you might lose signal or something like that, then you're welcome to just pop back in on the link. We'll admit you again. If there's something that you can't hear us or there's something on the presentation, you're welcome to just put it in a chat as well. And then this webinar may be recorded. It is being recorded at the moment. So by participating, you are consenting to this recording as well. So yeah, because since we got that out of the way, today's guide on this journey of time mastery is our own Jordan Uber. He's the head coach at Curo Health, and Jordan's actually helped quite a lot of individuals and organizations to unlock productivity, and we're thrilled to have him share his insights with us today. So without any further ado, please join me in welcoming Coach Jordan.
Thank you very much, Tanal. A lovely introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Jordan, head coach at Curo Health Coaching, and I am delighted to share with you a couple of time management techniques to just improve that productivity of yours and ultimately relieve some stress. Because as everyone always says, we don't have time for this, we don't have time for that, especially when it comes to looking after your health. So because everyone has the same amount of hours in the day, we each have 24. It's not about making more time, it's about managing the time that we have. And that is where time management techniques come into. I would like to just find out some practical, I would like to hear from some people here. If you can maybe just chat in the chat section, what are you struggling with time? So as I go through the techniques, we can do a little bit of practical note-taking and practical moves for your situations in particular. Does anyone want to suggest anything in the chat with what they're struggling with time-wise? Just having a look in the chat here. I've made some Mr. or Miss Duplessis. Anything in the chat, anything at all? Nothing. That's all right. That's all right. So if anyone has any questions, what we can do is just raise your hand. I'll have a look over here, and then we can answer any questions. We'll also be having a Q&A at the end, so you're more than welcome to save your questions for at the end of the presentation. All right. Perfect. Let us begin. Okay, so we're going to go through 3 techniques. And what's quite great about these techniques is you don't have to use either or. You can actually merge them together and really increase that productivity of yours. So we're going to go through the Pomodoro technique, the 80-20 rule, and Warren Buffett's 5-25 rule. Okay. Let's start with the Pomodoro. Pomodoro technique was developed in the late 1980s by an Italian man named Francesco Cirillo. And funny enough, a Pomodoro is a tomato. And he named it after this tomato because he used a kitchen timer that was shaped like a tomato. So how this technique works is what you're going to do is you will take a timer and you set about 25 minutes for one Pomodoro. So it's one cycle, basically. Then you separate the cycle by 5 minutes and you perform perhaps 3 or 4 cycles in a row. And then you take an extended break. That's about 20 to 30 minutes. What's great about this is that if you think about, okay, I've got this mountain of work ahead of me, all right, and it just seems like too much. Often what we get is something called analysis paralysis. You get a little bit of a fear of moving forward there. So what this is really great for is that it kind of breaks it down. So what you can do is say, okay, I'm going to finish task 1 to 3 in my first 2 Pomodoros. And it's only 25 minutes each. It's not a lot of time, and that makes it immediately feel a lot more realistic. So if you're a student, what you can say is, okay, I'm going to get through chapters 1 and 2 in my first 2 or 3 Pomodoros, and then from there, during my break, I'll plan on doing on what I'm going to do next. Also, if you don't successfully reach your task in this Pomodoro, it's not an issue. Just add one more cycle, one more Pomodoro, and get it done. But the key here is that you do 25 minutes or however long the Pomodoro is of really hard concentration. No distractions. You really focus in here because 25 minutes is very possible for most people. Get it in there, and then you'll see 25 minutes of high intense, high focused work is worth 50 to 100 minutes of procrastinated work. Okay. The Pomodoro technique is also doesn't have to be, it's also very adaptable. So it doesn't have to be 25 minutes. Oftentimes, people will, so I can see any questions. If there are any questions, like I said, just raise your hand so I can have a look. But oftentimes people start off in the day with higher ability of concentration. And then as you work throughout the day, that goes down and down and down and down. So I use this technique personally a lot, and I have been for years. It really helps. I struggle to sit down and focus on one thing for an extended period of time. And I notice as my concentration drops, my mind just starts pinging to different thoughts, and I get distracted very easily. And so with the Pomodoro, it allows you to focus. So how I use it personally is I actually begin with 50 minutes Pomodoros because, like I said, when I start off in the day, it's my most constructive time. So other people are more constructive in the evening. So you might want to put your extended Pomodoros there, but I'm more constructive in the morning. So I set for longer Pomodoros. So I go 50 minutes and then I rest 5 minutes and then I drop it to 45 minutes, rest 5 minutes, then I go 40 minutes. And then I take an extended break. So then there I've got 3 nice long Pomodoros where I get, honestly, most of my work done in the day. A lot of it gets done there. And then it's also, I choose specific work that is quite mentally intensive. So a lot of things where I need to either calculate things or find solutions or things like that. I will do that earlier in the day as well. And then after I take a nice extended break, and then I'll come back and then I start setting, and then I'll start at 40 minutes again if I'm feeling good. Otherwise, I'll start at 30 minutes. Then I'll do like 30 minutes, rest 5, 30 minutes, rest 5, 30 minutes, take another extended break, and then you just repeat that cycle. And then the next time it goes a little bit lower, 25 or 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. So, throughout the day, you're getting about like anywhere between 6 and 10 or 6 and 12 Pomodoros. And the key here is that those are, like I said, high focused, high concentration hours or minutes. And that focus and intent gets more work done than you can ever believe in an unfocused or procrastinative state. Okay, so Pomodoro technique, very helpful for people that struggle to concentrate, and it's very good for breaking down big tasks as well. Okay. Tom, has anyone ever heard of this technique before? Having a look here in the chats. Just raise your hand if you've seen the the technique or heard of it before? Yeah, Nadia. Okay, great stuff. And then yeah, we'll take, if you want, Nadia, you can reply there in the chat. Have you used it before? Does it help you at all? Or has it helped you? Just a little, maybe thumbs up, thumbs down if you've used it or it's helped. Okay, great stuff. All right, that's the Pomodoro technique. Nice for short bouts of work, breaking down tasks, and helping people who struggle to sit down and focus on an extended period of time. All right, let's go over to our next one. Another Italian gentleman. This one is the 80-20 rule, and it's also called the Pareto principle. So this was developed by Mr. Pareto. He is an Italian economist, and this is also quite at near the end of the 20th century. And how it started is he noticed that 80% of the land in Italy is owned by 20% of the people. And he found this quite interesting. And then he started applying this to different areas of economics. And he found this trend to occur over and over and over again. So what the Pareto principle sort of suggests is that 80% of the outcomes of things usually come from 20% of the causes. Now, how does that apply practically? So from a business perspective, have a look, and more often than not, 80% of your sales or income will come from a close to 20% or a minority of your total client pool. So how this helps us is it helps us, again, focus, but prioritize. If you're running a business, and let's say you do online, you do an e-commerce business, and you see that 80% of your sales are at a certain demographic, and 20%, and that certain demographic is only 20 to 30% of your total advertising pool, the people that you advertise to, and they're producing 80% of your sales. It will be a very logical decision then to focus more money in that 20% of the people because they are yielding more profits. Okay, so this is helping you to have an objective view of things. Looking at it from the back or looking at it from afar, separating yourself from in there, having a look at everything, seeing, okay, there's how much I'm getting from there, and start distributing and seeing where the efficiency is coming from. You can even look at this with yourself with the Pomodoro technique to see how much work you're getting throughout the day. So you can see that's how I identified that I have a better efficiency in the morning is, well, I started recording how much work I was getting done throughout the day. And I found out that, well, in the morning, I get way more work done compared to later in the afternoon. And then therefore applied the Pareto principle. And then I would double down in the morning, add in long Pomodoros and put more effort into the 20% that's yielding most of my outcomes. Okay, that's the Pareto principle. There are many, many, many different ways that you could use it. It's not just in economics, like I just explained now. You can also use it in your own efficiency or time efficiency or something like that to identify where you are stronger and where you are not. What's also quite interesting here is it sort of gives you other skills to work on. For instance, looking at things objectively. Because if you're going to apply the Pareto principle, if you can apply an 80-20 rule, you need to look at the entire thing. You need to look at the whole 100% of the entity or the business that you're looking at, so you can get a very accurate understanding as to where all of your efficiencies are coming from. So through these techniques, you also learn other techniques, for instance, like objective perspectives and how to look at a system as a whole. And just take that step back and see where those efficiencies lie and where the inefficiencies lie, and obviously concentrate on the things that are working well for you. All right. If I can have a look at everyone here who has heard of the Pareto principle, or more commonly the 80-20 rule, just put a hand up there. Let's see anyone. There we go. Okay, Mr. de Klerk, he's got there. Okay, very, very good. And is it Wilhelm? There's Shanae as well. Great. Wilhelm, have you, just a thumbs up, thumbs down, have you tried it? Does it, have you tried it and does it work before? Mahlatsi also has heard of it. So those people, put a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you've actually applied this principle before. Probably not, no one's applied it. Okay, all right, well, this is definitely something worthwhile trying. It's a fantastic technique, and like I said, it actually also starts exercising different techniques. For instance, objective perspectives and things like that. So it's very, 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 very helpful. A great technique to use to get that look. All right, we're going to move on to the third one, and that's Warren Buffett's 525 rule. So those of you who are unfamiliar with Warren Buffett, he is pretty sure is the owner or the creator of Berkshire Hathaway, which is one of the largest investment firms in the world and also the 8th largest reinsurer in the world, if I'm not mistaken. Berkshire Hathaway is very, very successful. And Warren Buffett became very popular, and he made a lot of his wealth from investing in Coca-Cola back in the day when they just started out. He saw huge potential there, and he still owns quite a significant amount of shares in Coca-Cola. So he's a very, very famous economist and entrepreneur. His business is business. So he finds businesses, makes them efficient, and then either sells them or just keeps them running and just keeps earning off the profits. That's what Berkshire Hathaway is all about. So he's a very, very successful man, a very humble man as well. His fun fact about Warren Buffett is that he's been living in his childhood home his whole life. Never moved out. He says this is always enough. He doesn't need anything more than that. And that's also what kind of led to his success, is that he never really entertained things that are in excess. He was very concentrated on what is necessary to do for performance and for efficiency. And that's what led up to his 525 rule. So here we're going to have a look at the big picture here. So how this works is you are going to list the top 25 goals that stand out to you or that you want to accomplish. So this can be towards your business, it can be towards your personal life. Again, this doesn't just pertain towards business, it pertains to everything. Again, you can even put all those goals in your business and your personal life goals all in one area or in one list. And if you don't have 25 goals, it's not an issue. You could put 20, you could put 10, you could put 50 if you want, however many you want. Make a list of all the goals, make sure they're nice and clear. Then you need to circle the top 5 that stand out to you. So if you're going to list 25 goals, circle the top 5. If you're going to list 20 goals, circle the top 4. Take a fraction of those goals that stand out to you. That is then your priority list. And those are the ones that you focus on. Scrap the others, put them in the back burner for now. You don't have to forget about them, but put them in the back burner for now. And you need to now dedicate 100% of your time onto those top goals that you have circled. All right. This rule emphasizes the importance of focus. And focus is an important aspect of time management skills. Like I said, everyone has 24 hours in the day. No one has more, no one has less. A distinguishing factor between people that have more time is they put more time into things that are worthwhile. And this rule helps you distinguish between what is more worthwhile and what is not. All right, this is a crucial element to success. All right, another practical application besides business and personal life is you could have a look at if you are in some kind of education space for internal business development. So you need to upregulate skills in people or things like that, or you need to identify what skills in your business are the most applicable. Write them all out on a list. Go through each one, analyze each one, choose your top 3 or your top 4 or your top 5, and focus on developing those skills in your employees, in your company, and start tracking the return of the efficiency of those skills and the improvements of those skills. Okay, this helps you with long-term planning, like I said, concentration, and it provides a nice structure on what to do and where to go. All right, so those are the 3 rules that we went through. Let's have a look here. Right, those are the 3 time management techniques: Pomodoro, Pareto principle, and Warren Buffett's 5-25. Now, as you can see, these 3 techniques actually kind of take place over 3 different time periods, if I can put it that way. The Pomodoro technique is immediate. You apply that to whatever you are doing here and now. The Pareto principle takes one step back and gets you to have a look at the system in total, at the current system you are working on. And then Warren Buffett's rule has a look at everything that is encompassed in your entire life or the entire business. And you're having a look there. So what you can do is, how you can chain these techniques together is you actually start off with Warren Buffett's rule. Let's have a look at the biggest picture here. Write down all those goals. What do I need to accomplish? What needs to get done? And this Warren Buffett's rule these goals can be in 1 year, they can be for 5 years, and they can be for 10 years. So that's very important in goal setting, is setting the time that you need to take to finish the goals. If it's not time bound, it's not a proper goal. You need to have the anxiety, and it's good anxiety. Stress and anxiety is not always bad. It actually helps you to get things done. So you have to put a time limit there to force you to get those things done. Okay, so start off with Warren Buffett's 5-25 rule. List those 25 things and identify 5 of them. Okay, fantastic. I want to just go through this in a practical principle as well. So let's say we're running a business. Okay, we're running an e-commerce business. Okay, now we're going to have a look at Warren Buffett's 5-25 rule. And now what I want to identify is which products are selling the best. So I'm going to list all of my products and all of the potential products that we can sell as well. I'm going to have a look at them, and we are like we would sell cleaning things like soaps and bath bombs and all those lovely fresh smelling things. And we have an array of creams and all sorts of that. So if you're a business selling all of that stuff, have a look and be like, all right, these are the top 5 or 10 that stand out for me. Okay, these are also the ones that are yielding the highest sales. So it makes a little bit of sense to stick to those ones. These are also the ones with the highest profit margin. So all of these factors need to get put in together. So we're going to have a look at those are my top 5. And the goal here is to increase sales. Okay, great. So I increase profit margin. So we're going to choose those top 5 of the 25. Now we're going to go to the Pareto principle. Now we're really going to merge and see, okay, these are the actual ones that are yielding the most profit. However, the profit margin on some of these other ones, which we are not investing that much advertising into, are much higher. It might be worth investing more into the products with the higher profit margin, with investing in them more with some more advertising to increase those sales, because if you have more sales on items that have more profit margin, naturally you're going to make more sales. So now we're taking the Pareto principle and looking at the efficiency of each product over here and saying, okay, how much am I putting in and how much am I getting out? And start distinguishing where are the most efficient cases and where do they lie, and let's focus on that. So that's now going to reduce my pool from, let's say I had 10 products before, that might reduce it down to a little bit fewer, a little 4 or 5 or 6. Having a look at those. Now it's time to put in the effort to increase the sales of those products. And this is where we start with the Pomodoro technique. You need to get a plan laid out. That plan needs to be, okay, we've identified the products. Now we need to start recording all the metrics, get all the metrics of those products, sales, who buys or what demographic buys from those sales, costing, all of that. I'm going to spend 3 Pomodoros getting all that information together. Sit down, hard graph, get it together. Now you've got really, really good information. Next step from there is, okay, how are we going to interpret this information into sales? So first thing we need to do is now get an advertising campaign together so we can advertise properly and allocate the correct resources to the correct products. All right, I'm going to spend 4 Pomodoros creating a marketing plan, so on and so forth. And now we're breaking the sales goal up. We're breaking that up into little segments so that we can become more efficient and finish everything one step at a time. Because if you, like I said, if you start off, have a look at the whole thing, be like, yo, there's some massive mountain to climb. You know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. How do I have all the time? How can I get the time to do this? Break it up. Pomodoro, one step at a time. One line that goes with the Pomodoro effect is, or the Pomodoro technique, is that Rome wasn't built in a day. And that's exactly what they did technically as well. If you break up, you know, how they built the pyramids as well. If you break it up day by day, technically a day was a Pomodoro. They didn't try and build the whole thing in 24 hours. And they certainly didn't work 24 hours straight for multiple days on end. No, they got their workers to come in. We build a section of the building. We take a break, rest, sleep, eat, all that stuff. Come back tomorrow morning and repeat. Work little bits by little bits by little bits. And then as the days go by, that building builds and builds and builds and builds. And you've got your finished product. All right. Those are the 3 techniques. That's how you can merge them as well and where they're used in different areas. We're going to head into a Q&A now, but just before we start that, I would just like to say that everyone here who has joined this seminar, thank you very much. And you all also qualify for a free week of coaching on Curo Health Coaching, where we not only do time management techniques, but we have stress management techniques, physical activity management techniques, nutrition, sleep, everything that encompasses holistic wellness. So you all qualify for a free month, sorry, not a free week, a free month of coaching. We will email you after this with all the details. You can read the email, click on the link, sign up, and off you go. So I really hope to see you guys there. It'll be great to have you on, share this amazing product that we have, and I'll look forward to seeing you all there. I will obviously be your coach and see you on the app. Okay. All right, everyone, that's it for Peter just joined a little too late here, but he can join for the Q&A. That's the presentation for now. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, Monica. Any questions? We can put a hand up. Anything you guys would like to know? Anything related to the Q&A?
Jordan, you can just have a look at Bridget's Q&A in this section, and then there was feedback from Cecile as well.
Here we go. Sorry. Okay. All right. I'm going to run through these now from the beginning. Sorry, well, I missed that. Okay. Bridget, I see it. One, consistency, the challenge. So I can be for a week and then fall off the wagon. What technique can you use to keep consistency going? Consistency is a tricky thing, but one thing that's very important for consistency is you find a right balance of stimulus and rest. Okay. Consistency falls when we get overworked and we start pushing too far for too long. So what you can use for this consistency is the Pomodoro. Breaking it down will work very well for this, Bridget. So being realistic, first of all. So like I said, when they built the pyramid, they didn't work 24 hours straight for 20 years. That's not realistic. They worked in the day and they rested at night. So set realistic cycles that you are going to work in every single day. You can choose 3 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 3 at night, 2 at night, whatever. Write that down. Keep it realistic. Make sure you have enough rest there as well. And then you stick to that no matter what. Start off small. That's very easily, well, not too easy, but it is achievable. Start with something that's very, very achievable, and you achieve it and you become consistent in that. Because just like a muscle, if you train a muscle on a 5-kilogram dumbbell curl, you train that muscle. It starts off very tough, but it's achievable. But then your muscle's going to grow and it's going to adapt. It's going to be like, oh, okay, this 5 kilograms no longer challenging. I'm going to increase it by 1 kilogram. Now you do 6, and you do that for a little while, then you go to 7. The discipline is formed in the exact same fashion, and it transcends to different areas in your life. So when you're working, it's the same thing with studying or anything like that. Start with something achievable. In doing that, you are going to develop, or you're going to cause the right adaptations to become better at that thing, whatever it is. Your body adapts constantly. It's the greatest adaptive machine on the planet. So in doing something that's slightly challenging but achievable, you're going to adapt to make that thing easier. And then what you do is at the right time, you just make it a bit more difficult again. And that's how you start increasing your proficiency in whatever skill. And if that skill is consistency, you do it in the exact same fashion. Pick a routine that's achievable, slightly challenging. Stick to that routine. Eventually, it's going to get easy and it's going to become second nature. Then increase the difficulty of that routine slightly more, and so on and so forth. All right, Bridget, does that answer your question? I'm here in the Q&A now. You can message here.
We got a thumbs up, so
is it okay?
Bridget,
Great,
I
thanks.
think you get.
Perfect, thanks, Bridget. All right, Wilhelm, how can I improve my concentration at work? Work at an engineering company. So I'm not sure with your surroundings if there is noise or something like that, but one thing that is very important is to mitigate distractions. So if you need your phone, or if you don't need your phone for a certain amount of time, leave that thing aside. Put it face down, put on silent, put on airplane mode, whatever. The phone is very, very distracting. So that's one way. Actually, let me just take one step back here. To improve concentration, you need to mitigate distractions and increase your want for whatever it is you're going to do. On a biochemical level, that's optimizing dopamine. All right. So mitigate distractions, increase the want or the need in doing that thing. So now I'm going to go back to the distraction thing. The phone is one very easy distraction. So leave that to the side. If you do need your phone, I'm pretty sure that you can select certain notifications to come through and other notifications to go off. So if you're planning a nice strong work period, switch your Instagram notifications off and all the social medias. If you need WhatsApp, that's fine. Select certain chats that you switch on or certain groups that you switch on that you need on. So customize your notifications for like an intensive work period. And I think, I'm not sure what phone you have, but I'm pretty sure the iPhone has a functionality where you put it in work mode and then only certain notifications come through. That's one way. That's one way of mitigating distractions. Other ways of mitigating distractions would simply be, I know it sounds boring, but you work with nothing in front of you. So like, this is obviously a fake background, but behind me, I've just got a plain wall. So I would sit and face the wall with my laptop, and then so nothing can distract me. If there's a window, I might look out of a window and see a plane, and then I start thinking about that Top Gun movie because I saw a plane, and then that mind just starts going. No, mitigate all distractions there, keep it boring, and that's how you improve dopamine as well. And how you improve your need or your want to do something is you make everything else super boring. Because if your work's the most exciting thing that you can do, you're going to do it, no problem. So make yourself bored. That's why going on social media between or at work is very bad, because it's super entertaining. Social media is a dopamine drug of note, and it makes your work feel more boring. But if you don't go on social media and you purposefully mitigate the other distractions, your work all of a sudden becomes more entertaining to do, because it's the more entertaining thing to do in that moment. And then there's a whole bunch of other things like realizing how important the work is. You know, if you don't work, you're not going to get money, you're not going to feed your family, you're not going to have a roof. So you can always think about the importance and the serious situation that it is that you need to perform and work hard. That is another way to really get that motivation going, but that's a bit short-lived. The motivation is short-lived. You want to trick your brain into optimizing that dopamine. But yeah, understanding the severity of the situation, perspectives for improvements or promotions. Fear is a great driver, but so is reward. Okay, so have a look, chat to your boss, see if there's a way that you can move up in the company or get a pay raise, or anything like that that offers incentive for you to work harder, and then you can work towards that. Not, well, I'm just going to finish off by saying that one of these techniques is not going to work. You use a bunch of them together, and that's where you feel a massive increase in concentration or work performance. All right, so to summarize it there, great stuff. Got a thumbs up there, thanks. Summarize it there, mitigate the distractions and increase incentivization. All right, and also just make sure you're resting. So just to finish off there, guys, people don't rest. And when I mean rest, like you need to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep in every night. If you're not, you're going to underperform. That is the base of health, mental and physical, is sleep. You need to make sure you are getting proper sleep in. If you don't sleep properly, you're going to be agitated the next day. You're not going to perform well. Then you're going to get agitated because you're not performing or you're not concentrating, and it's a negative spiral. So please, guys, take care of yourselves. You need to sleep. You need to relax. No one can work 24 hours in a row and do that consistently and still maintain performance. That's not how we are wired. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there, a little bit over time here. I just want to say thank you so much for joining. This means a lot to me. I love chatting about this stuff, and I love having people here interacting as well and helping people through this. Oh, sorry, there's a new post. Nadia, sorry, almost missed you there. How does one switch off during stressful times, meeting deadlines, to get proper sleep? All right, Nadia, that's a very good question. I'm glad to answer this. Look, I would love to answer all these questions. I'll stay much longer. That I don't mind. But if you do need to leave, no worries, no hard feelings. We understand we all have meetings and all those things. All right, Nadia. So, how does one switch off during stressful times? Okay, this comes down to a very good routine, a sleep routine and a morning routine. Okay. Bridget, huge pleasure. Have a lovely day. Nadia, so some key things in an evening routine to switch off is you have a defining trigger in the day where you stop working. Okay. Over time, that trigger gets programmed into your psyche, and it allows you to enter a relaxed state a lot easier. We are creatures of habit. If we do something over and over and over again, we start being programmed to doing that thing easier over and over and over again. So some triggers that you can do. So I have a rule, like past 8 o'clock, I don't work. If I work past 8 o'clock, the next day my concentration's down, dopamine's down, all this jazz. All right. Cheers. I think there was Cecil. So that's my rule, personal rules, 8 o'clock shut down. Also, you need to understand that once you understand like how your efficiency in your work when it comes to rest and how low your efficiency is when you don't rest, you need to understand that difference. You are not that proficient if you are fatigued mentally or physically. It does not work, and it takes you double the time to get that work done. So that thought helps you understand the importance of rest, and understanding the importance of rest for efficiency. That's one way that it helps you to shut down and not worry about deadlines and things like that. That's one way. Then the next way is that routine. So generally a nice hot bath or some kind of relaxive routine that can be meditation, or like I said, a hot bath. Journaling is super, super powerful. these are 3 things you can already apply immediately that will make a massive difference to relieving stress from your mind, especially the journaling. Personally, that's my favorite one. When you get to speak or write out your thoughts, and the important thing is writing it out in a book. Once you can put your thoughts out there and you write it down and you read it objectively, first of all, it gives you that objective perspective where then you can start analyzing it from a different point of view, and you can realize, okay, maybe this isn't such a big deal, or you find a solution in writing it down. Okay, journaling your thoughts is super important and reflecting over the day. In the journaling, affirmations are very important as well. You need to write down there in your journal, okay, I need to go to sleep now, or I need to rest so that I have energy tomorrow, so that I can finish whatever needs to be done. Because if I don't do this, the work's only going to get more strenuous and I might not complete it. Okay, so understand that your rest is very important. And then the hot bath is very good as well to help you relax, because that actually releases a neurotransmitter called melatonin that helps you sleep. It comes from magnesium and a bunch of other things in your body. So taking magnesium also helps. But that hormone helps you sleep and helps relax your body, lowers cortisol levels, so reduces stress, and helps you fall asleep a little bit easier. Last thing to help you, Nadia, I'll give you a 4th one. Okay, so just to quickly recap, meditation helps a lot, calms your mind down. Journaling, hot bath, or a trigger, a relaxive trigger, which could be a hot bath. The 4th one is to not stimulate the mind. If you are going to sit there at night and watch a really stressful series, your mind is stimulated. Your body is releasing cortisol. Your body is releasing dopamine. You are going to be excited. You are going to struggle to fall asleep. Then sometimes it's literally just because of that excitable state that you stay up, not because of the stress of the work. Your mind just chooses to latch on the stress because it's awake there and then and there's nothing else to do. But if you had programmed your body and your mind to be sleepy, it would fall asleep a lot easier and not immediately go to something to start thinking about. All right. So, yeah, mitigating the blue light, so TVs and things like that, yeah, very important. And don't stimulate your mind. Read a book. Again, some books can be very rowdy. So stay away from those ones. So choose your stimulus. Is what I'm saying, closer to bedtime, and make sure that it is something that induces sleep and not the opposite. Okay, so there's 4 things there. All right. Any other questions? In the Q&A, nothing else. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Please have a look at the email you're going to receive after this, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our app. All right. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Cheers.